Strive 2.0 is finally out and has brought massive changes to the game. But how is Potemkin made out in the new version? Has he been nerfed into the ground, or is he just fine? Let's jump into it. Let's first take a look at the system mechanic changes. The immediate big one that affects Pot are the PRC nerfs. You can no longer PRC a whiffed throw, making Potemkin Buster much more dangerous to whiff. And any attack that connects after PRC has an extreme scaling nerf. This pretty much means that any FPRC Buster is going to do like no damage. This is a pretty decent nerf to Pot, but this also helps on defense, because the amount of minus specials into delayed FPRC shenanigans you have to deal with has gone down, or at the very least will not be nearly as meaningful. The next thing that has a major impact on Pot are the changes to positive bonus. Positive bonus no longer removes tension penalties, so breaking the wall with Gigantor will basically give you no meter afterwards. This will probably result in you not using Gigantor to break the wall unless you really want the Oki, or unless it'll kill. Much like the PRC nerf though, this does help Pot in that the amount of super wall breaks will, more than likely, be less common. There have also been a number of scaling nerfs to punch normals and a lot of special moves. Potemkin's super high defense is going to be even more valuable now due to the lower damage across the board. All close slashes got changes to their hitboxes, where portions of their hitbox can only hit when the opponent is already being hit. This reduces the number of close slash anti-airs, and for Potemkin, it makes catching fuzzy jumps with close slash a little bit harder. Hurt boxes have also been made more universally consistent across the board. Unfortunately, this change has resulted in tumble hurt boxes being made lower to the ground, like some of the characters in the old patch. Now, 6H will never pick up after a charged flick, meaning we'll have to substitute with some other normal. Finally, all reversal supers can no longer be Roman cancelled and are in counter hit recovery. This does mean that Potemkin can't use Heavenly Purple Roman Cancel to dodge a move, or Heavenly Red Roman Cancel to deal insane amounts of damage, but this does mean if you successfully block a reversal super, your punish is even better now. Now, let's look at the Potemkin specific changes. Let's start off with the nerfs. Potemkin Buster is no longer armored, and it also no longer has throw and fall. This seems pretty bad, but let's be honest, Armor Buster needed to go. That move was just not healthy. And Pot losing Throw and Volt on Buster isn't quite as meaningful as it seems. Pot Buster has a gigantic range, so you'll often just have to be a little bit more careful on offense since you'll outrange the throw anyways. It unfortunately also isn't nearly as good on defense, considering you can't use it to blow up a throw. Thankfully, it still retains the damage and the cancel options, meaning Pot can still explode you off a good read. Gigantor had its active frames greatly reduced, so you can no longer use it as a neutral skip. It's still an amazing combo tool, although the 8-second meter penalty is going to force you to be much more careful about when you decide to use it. Hammerfall and Hairfall Break can no longer armor lows. This one is rough, especially against characters with nasty low pokes like Axel and Johnny. You'll have to rely on forward Megafist a lot more in those matchups. Also, this is completely undocumented, but for some reason, Close Slash can no longer connect after a forward Megafist. I don't know why, but it just can't anymore. They didn't say anything about it in the notes, so your guess is as good as mine. Flick's projectile got hit hard, only traveling about half screen and then exploding. The explosion no longer provides a hard knockdown as well. This makes anti-zoning from full screen weaker, so you'll have to actually move in instead of just trying to flick everything back. Jump Dust is no longer disjointed, making it easier to anti-air again. You can still use the stall to bait out anti-airs, but you'll have a harder time crushing anti-airs against people who are on point. Projectile scaling has been nerfed across the board, so that means Garuda has a very heavy scaling penalty now. Garuda into Potbuster doesn't do too much damage, but what can you do? And Slidehead got its startup animation changed. Yeah, that's all I got to say. Enough negativity, let's go over what got buffed. 5H got sort of birthed in that it no longer gives a hard knockdown on air hit. However, it now always launches the opponent for a small tumble and gives a soft knockdown. This allows Potemkin to take a bit more space after landing a 5H in neutral. Counter hit combos are still there, though sometimes they seem a bit inconsistent. I think it has something to do with the tumble animation, but I'm not really sure. 2S got its hurt and hitbox lowered down slightly. Now it's a consistent tool to beat 6P. This is a very nice tool to have, especially against people trying to do run-up 6P. Potemkin's walk speed got greatly increased, making him one of the fastest walking characters in the game. This change is great on a grappler, as it allows him to more effectively walk down his opponent. Also, it makes the FAB Carabuster hit from even further. Finally, 6H got its damage reduced, but it now has 2 more active frames and moves forward during the startup. This change is actually huge, as it makes 6H hit super far away now. It's actually kind of ridiculous how far this move hits now. The forward momentum creating a gigantic wall of hitbox makes it really hard to dodge for a lot of characters. It's an excellent poke, and it's an even better punish now, especially against certain moves that were slightly out of range before. So, what does this mean for Potemkin? Honestly, I think Potemkin will be just fine. He'll definitely no longer be one of the strongest characters in the game, but he still has access to extremely high damage off a very good command grab, dangerous frame traps, and a surprisingly decent neutral game with the walk speed changes and the 6H buffs. Not to mention, his natural tankiness will come more into play due to the reduced damage across the board. He'll have a lot more chances to run his strike throw, which is always nice because every chance you give a grappler is a chance that your opponent is going to die. He may have a few problem matchups that might require a secondary character, possibly, I'm not sure, but I think 2.0 is looking pretty nice for our boy. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please make sure to like and subscribe.